Dear listener, before the story begins, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. This is the best motivation at the start. And we are starting. Greetings from a distance. Back in the year 2015, I suffered a severe leg fracture that required me to wear a cast for half a year. Despite the injury, I continued working, and it was at the office that I first encountered her. She was resilient, intelligent, and optimistic, precisely my kind of woman. It was love at first sight when our paths crossed on the staircase as I was ascending with the aid of crutches. We engaged in conversation for a couple of months before sharing our initial kiss. To make a long story short, our relationship blossomed from that point onward. We commenced our journey together, and I must admit that I was no saint in my previous relationships. I'd experienced the pain of betrayal just a month prior to a planned wedding. However, I then recognized the incredible fortune I had stumbled upon, true love and happiness. Over the course of 6 months, we gradually adapted to each other's presence. Due to my past betrayal, I was apprehensive about relationships, but we were coexisting, or rather dating, in perfect sync. We introduced each other to our respective parents and celebrated all the holidays together. We formed a shared circle of friends. She acquainted me with her companions, and I was content with life. Arguments arose occasionally, sometimes due to my own faults, and other times due to hers. After all, we both possess fiery temperaments. She frequently exhibited jealousy towards my friends who share my passion for flying. I am a U.S. pilot. There was a female colleague, and for some inexplicable reason, my beloved suspected that I had a romantic involvement with her. However, having experienced the pain of betrayal, I would never be unfaithful and remained loyal. Following our shared vacation and the New Year's celebration in 2018, it seemed as though she had undergone a transformation. She began to distance herself from me. I started to recognize the warning signs indicating that I needed to elevate our relationship to a new level. We engaged in extensive discussions about the matter. I expressed my desire to marry her, have children together, and spend the rest of my life with her. Everything appeared to be resolved, and I started to love and cherish her even more deeply. On March 8th, we exchanged vows of loyalty. However, on the 9th, she vanished. She reappeared on my birthday, March 10th, but she was no longer the same person. Intuition. I attempted to discuss the issue with her, but she evaded the topic, citing a headache or a foul mood. She ceased driving me to work at the department. Our phone conversations took on a certain coldness from her end. We became mere acquaintances. I had purchased a ring and intended to propose to her upon the conclusion of her religious fasting. Then, on April 6th, Good Friday, with tears in her eyes, she confessed that she could no longer deceive me, could no longer witness my suffering and attempts to salvage our relationship. After the New Year's festivities, her long-standing and seemingly unresolved love had resurfaced. He was waiting for her at home, though it was unclear when, as I was constantly by her side. They had been communicating for a couple of months, and over the span of a few weeks, she met with him and, as she admitted, cheated on me once. Words cannot describe the emotions I experienced. I was shattered, destroyed, consumed by flames. She expressed uncertainty about her love for me and acknowledged lingering feelings for that man. I wandered aimlessly through the city all Friday, got completely inebriated, and pawned the ring at a club as payment for 50 cocktails for anyone who approached the bar. Ultimately, a girl picked me up. The details are hazy, but I'm certain that nothing transpired between us. I awoke at that girl's residence, fully clothed, lying on the hallway floor. Her friends and my friends began searching for me, calling. We had a discussion. She stated that I was the most exceptional thing that had ever happened to her, the most brilliant, genuine, and kind. Prior to this, we had somehow shared every detail of our lives with each other. Following that, we made the vow of fidelity. When I inquired, "Why did you inflict this upon me?" she responded that she was a terrible person and that there was no forgiveness for her actions. Given my history, I have numerous connections within U.S. law enforcement and other agencies. That very day, I located her ex-boyfriend and observed him walking with his wife and child. I sent her the photographs. She questioned my motives, asking why I was inflicting pain upon her. She was fully aware of everything herself, knew the entire outcome, and realized it would be a fleeting affair before he abandoned her once more to be with his wife. As it turned out, he holds a government position. I have access to his superiors. I could have him terminated, imprisoned, and destroyed through friends. reduced to ashes. However, I refrained from taking immediate action. On Easter, she called to wish me a joyous holiday and asked for my forgiveness if I was capable of granting it. I ended the call, but that's not the entirety of my story. Certain facts came to light. Our phones had been hacked, and I gained access to her Viber and WhatsApp conversations. They never ceased, even though she professed her love to me. Every Thursday, they engaged in virtual intimacy via WhatsApp, exchanging various promises and declarations of love. We traced the number and discovered another one. It turned out there was a second SIM card. I lay awake at night, trying to recall where I might have seen her ex's car. It came to light that in 2016, her car was experiencing issues with knocking valves. Fellow car enthusiasts will understand. And she mentioned having a mechanic friend from her previous workplace who would come and retrieve it himself. She adamantly refused my assistance. The friend, the auto mechanic, arrived to collect the cars for repairs, and it was a white Honda Civic that she then drove away in, supposedly first to training and then to retrieve the repaired car. In short, her relationship was filled with deceit on her part, and even while in bed with me, her thoughts were of him. I believe this to be true because it was one of the phrases from their correspondence. Believe it or not, I stood by her side during 2 challenging life situations. When I fractured my leg and was confined to the house for 6 months, unable to go anywhere, she helped me overcome depression. And last year, when they were extracting metal structures from my leg, she never abandoned me, never turned away, and was always there. As for the wife, I'm contemplating following them and presenting her with the photographs and all the correspondence. Although, of course, I understand that I will be shattering someone's love for her husband. But my instincts are urging me to take action. Why do you believe that cheating and betrayal occur only within the context of marriage? Is that how it typically unfolds? If you hold this belief, you've likely already been burned, and your perspective on the concepts of cheating and betrayal has been altered. I'll mention that she herself initially declined to accompany me on flights. Later on, I began taking her along, and we pilots always discuss flights with other pilots, regardless of their gender. First and foremost, we are pilots. With my now ex-partner, I would approach everyone and introduce her, stating that she was my girlfriend. What suspicions could arise? I introduced her to everyone without any hidden agendas or ulterior motives. Although my circle is aware that if I'm uncertain about a girl, I refrain from introducing her to anyone, as it likely indicates that I'm not serious about that particular lady. I recognize these aspects of my character, that I don't compromise, that I'm jealous, calculating, and due to my profession, I've learned to maintain an outwardly emotionless demeanor. I can be somewhat selfish when it comes to selecting joint trips, for example. And as you say, it's better to know the truth than to be deceived. Yes. Where does strength lie, brother? In money? No. Strength lies in the truth. To briefly summarize what transpired with my ex, she also left me for her ex-boyfriend. They ended up dating for 6 months before he ended the relationship. Currently, this girl is wandering from one man to another in search of the one, and things are not going well for her. She has undergone significant changes and has aged considerably. She ended our relationship back then because I was in the service and sometimes couldn't come home for 3 or even 4 weeks. And by that time, we were already living together. In general, not every woman is capable of becoming the wife of a colonel and enduring the life of a military man. And my current ex, as amusing as it may sound, but based on my suspicions or imagination, ended things with the same addict to avoid interfering with his wife and child, because it was a devastating blow for her when she discovered he was married. But she loved him. And then I came along as a distraction and a means to forget her feelings. The fire was initially extinguished, but it only took a couple of well-placed matches to reignite that fire, for love to blaze once more, and then their secret love affair commenced. I was foolish not to take control of the phone earlier and simply trusted her. Or perhaps it's for the best. Reading this myself, I realized that I need to heal myself morally and mentally. I need to reset myself. I need to focus on self-improvement, work on myself, and gain wisdom. Because after that breakup, I didn't work on myself. Instead, I used women for pleasure for a couple of months, and then discarded them. Now, at work, she created a scene. We have a large company with its own kitchen, which we refer to as the watering hole. I go to the kitchen for my morning tea, greeting everyone by name except for her. People start reprimanding me, saying things like, "You're not saying hello to your beloved?" She burst into tears and ran away. And then she wrote to me herself, "You'd be better off ignoring me next time and spitting in my face in front of everyone than behaving like this." We work at the same place but in different departments, although our work intersects. So I sit and observe her when she comes in for printouts, as dark as a thundercloud, and I've become indifferent to it. Her life will punish her on its own. I will gnaw the ground with my teeth, but I will not forgive her and will kick her out if she comes to make amends, no matter how much time passes. Now my rational mind is taking over, and I'm realizing that I don't need to do anything. Just let go and live my own life. Calm down and move forward. There would be something to fight for now, but there's nothing and no reason to fight and use the connections I have. I'll only make things worse for myself and put other people in a difficult position, since I haven't figured myself out, haven't endured, and haven't thought everything through as I was emotionally driven. And while I was writing all sorts of nonsense today, I was working and simultaneously reflecting on the situation. It dawned on me, why do I need all this? I've had my hysterics, and that's enough. Life isn't over. If all women believe that if they're not married but in a relationship they're free as a bird to do whatever they please, then I have a question for you, dear ladies. Where are the principles of morality, upbringing, and honesty in relation to your partner, even if he's not yet your husband? With this mindset and lifestyle, everyone will start cheating on each other and claiming, "So what? I'm not bound by the bonds of marriage, so I'm free and can do whatever I want." You see, I was raised differently. I grew up without a father, but my grandfather, a veteran, always taught me that if you gave your word or took an oath, you should break, you should die. But you must be honest and faithful to your oath and your words. Although these are more masculine qualities that not all women need and are not inherent in nature. For you, if it's not ovulation, then you desire someone else. Excuse me, but these are simply parallels, a tangle of hormones and moods that take over the mind in one way or another. Oh, I don't know. A vow is made before God, yourself, and your companion. The registry office is merely a state machine that places a stamp and supposedly accepts this vow on behalf of the state, nothing more. And in her acts of infidelity, I believe she hasn't forgotten her past and is drawn there. I'm even curious, when marriages were conducted in churches, were there instances of betrayal and infidelity? I would greatly appreciate your advice and support, but one way or another, I have expressed my stance.